Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Right off the bat, we're tackling an absolute universal headache. It's arguably the single most confusing roadblock we all hit when we're first diving into machine learning evaluation. You know the one. It's a fundamental concept that sounds, well, incredibly simple on paper, but somehow it manages to trip up literally everyone in practice.
Okay, so let's dive right into it. The big million-dollar question we need to answer is precision more important or is recall? Look, if you've ever stared blankly at a model evaluation report, just feeling your eyes completely glaze over as you try to figure out which of these two metrics actually matters for your specific project, trust me, your confusion is 100% valid. It is a genuine, everyday dilemma for pretty much every single data enthusiast out there. To truly master this, honestly, we just need to throw the abstract math right out the window for a minute. Just toss it. Instead, imagine you and I are building an AI cancer detection system. We're dropping straight into a high-stakes, literally life-or-death scenario here. Because looking at severe real-world consequences, that is absolutely the best way to make these metrics finally click. We're not just pushing numbers around in a spreadsheet anymore. We are making decisions about real people's lives.
Let's slow down for a second and deeply consider the two worst-case scenarios our system could actually produce. First up, there's the false positive. This is when the system flags a completely healthy person and basically tells them they have cancer. Right? It's a terrifying false alarm, and it causes immense unnecessary stress. But then there's the false negative. This is when an actual cancer patient goes through our system and the AI confidently tells them they're perfectly fine. Really let the gravity of that fatal miss sink in. A false alarm is awful, yes, for sure, but a false negative? That can literally cost a life by delaying critical medical treatment.
So how does all our technical jargon actually map onto this scenario? Well, precision asks one very specific question. Out of everyone our system flagged as having cancer, how many were actually true cancer patients? It's entirely focused on the quality, the pure accuracy of your positive predictions. Essentially, precision is your absolute go-to metric when your main goal is minimizing unnecessary panic and, just reducing those incredibly stressful false alarms. Recall, on the flip side, asks a fundamentally different question. Out of all the actual cancer patients that exist out there, how many did our system successfully identify? While precision constantly worries about crying wolf, recall is just completely obsessed with not missing a single real thread. It focuses squarely on how extraordinarily dangerous it is to let even one positive case just slip through the cracks unflagged. And that brings us to the ultimate golden rule. Honestly, this is basically the cheat code for machine learning models. Are you ready? If costly false positives are your absolute biggest nightmare, you heavily focus on precision. But if costly false negatives are the absolute worst possible outcome, you must prioritize recall. Seriously, burn this framework into your brain right now. Just lock it in because it's going to instantly clarify pretty much every single model evaluation decision you'll ever make.
So applying this golden rule right back to our opening scenario gives us a crystal clear answer. In cases exactly like cancer detection, recall absolutely wins the battle hands down. Why? Because missing a patient is just far, far too risky. Think about it. We would much rather deal with the inconvenience of a few false alarms, maybe run some extra medical tests, than confidently send a sick person home without the treatment they desperately need. In life or death situations, recall is literally your lifeline. Armed with this simple yet super powerful framework, the math just doesn't have to be intimidating anymore. We really just have to connect the numbers back to reality. So if precision and recall are basically just ways to measure our tolerance for different types of failure, ask yourself this: what happens when we switch gears to something entirely different, like, say, a spam filter or even a self-driving car? Which metric becomes the absolute deal breaker then? Keep exploring, keep questioning the data, and keep learning these complex concepts in simple terms. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Explainer.